all of Nap.
Ah, ça commence. Oupsie, tous les gens.
So Ojcon's still managing to sow discord, even after all these years.
If you want to resolve a conflict through dialogue, sometimes you need a third-party facilitator. At
Oh,
this time and
chasse-cas,
place,
toi.
I'll bet the easiest person to find is...
Ah, j'étais pas prêt, j'étais en train de parler avec les gens là.
His spirit has gotten lost and can't find its way back to his body.
I just want to rescue someone, and Granny won't let me.
C'est quoi ça? Nouvelle zone? Ah oui, nouvelle zone.
500 years later, and it's resurfaced again.
I worry that we risk repeating the mistakes of the Cinder City.
As long as the soul is involved, I should be able to help.
Il y aura la suite de l'histoire? Pourquoi il y a... Oh, capitaine, on n'avait pas l'histoire là. Ça doit être...
Time to say hello.
Knock him down.
It's either your end or mine!
Before the final moment truly arrives, we must fight harder than ever.
Oh, capitaine, oui. Encore là. Ah, j'étais sûr qu'on allait avoir un truc pour... Comment ça s'appelle? La zone des montagnes de Mondstadt. Mais pour l'instant, ça n'a pas été montré, donc... I-S-A-L-M-W-A-V-K-L... Ah, il manque un K. 35. Et je me le marque sur mon Discord. Non, c'est pas du HSR, c'est du Genshin.
Hey travelers, welcome to the Genshin Impact version 5.2 special program. I'm Gabe from the Loke team.
And I'm Kai. We meet again.
Ah oui, du coup,
Whoa,
c'est
a
encore
Cuckoosaur.
les
Wanna join
voice
us?
enfin, c'est pas les voice actors du coup.
Hey,
Ça
don't be
continue.
shy. Come out and say hello.
I'm not sure what that meant, but it was adorable.
She approves of your compliment.
Hey, I didn't know you could speak Saurian.
Oh, I can't. But I can make an educated guess based on her body language.
Whoa, are all Cuckoosaurs as friendly as
tant
this
pis,
one?
Adult
je
Cuckoosaurs are
répondrai
usually very proud creatures, but there are always exceptions.
plus tard.
Well, since our Cuckoosaur friend kicked things off for us, I know just the place to
Bon, du
start.
coup, ouais, la
The
grève
Flower
des voice
Feather
actors, je sais
Clan.
pas quand est-ce que ça
Alright, let's
finira
do
là.
it.
Ah, ça veut dire qu'il y aura encore pas de
Cuckoosaurs
voix
live
en
among the
anglais pour
Flower
certains persos.
Feather Clan, which is suspended high above the mountains.
Oh.
This is a tribe of warriors, and most of their people can command the power of the skies. It was
Donc,
the
nouvelle
Flower
zone,
Feather
nouvelle
Clan's
tribu.
ancient duty to patrol and safeguard the entire region of Natlan. As elite special forces,
Par
their
contre,
job was to
le
detect
trailer un
threats,
peu court, il m'a
disseminate
pas
intel,
autant
and quickly
hypé
neutralize
que ce que
any
je
dangers
pensais.
to the nation. Though the circumstances are different now, the tribe never forgot its origins. They still hold trials to assemble the fastest teams in the tribe. The trials test a pilot's skill and teamwork with the Cuckoosaurs.
Oh, I'm so
Oula.
pumped about these Cuckoosaurs.
Yeah, Cuckoosaurs are the proudest out of all the Saurians. They know that they're the kings of the sky.
Ok, donc le nouveau saurien.
Cuckoosaurs can consume phlogiston to climb higher or perform a horizontal roll in midair. Holding the sprint button allows them to enter an accelerated glide state after a horizontal roll.
Bon, on va
In
vraiment pouvoir
addition,
voler,
they
d'accord,
can
ok.
even use phlogiston wind tunnels to quickly cover great distances.
Okay, so I'm assuming that Cuckoosaurs are really hard to tame.
Yeah, that's true. You need to prove yourself in some
pour voler,
worthwhile
quoi.
feat, like
Par contre,
demonstrating
est-ce que du coup,
exceptional
ils vont être
archery
actifs dans
skill during
les
flight.
zones précédentes
That's
ou
the
pas du
only
coup?
way to become a true Cuckoosaur rider.
Wow, that's so strict.
Yeah, tell me about it. But okay, now that we've got a glimpse of the Flower Feather Clan, it's time for a quiz.
What? Already?
Yep, I hope you're
C'est un
prepared.
quiz.
Every tribe in that land has a unique way of communicating with their Saurian companions. The members of the Flower Feather clan use a special item to summon their Kukusaurs. What is that item?
Question que c'est, moi.
A basket filled with their favorite foods?
Here's a hint. We just saw the answer in the previous video.
Oh, I remember now. Horn.
Ding ding ding! Kukusaurs live far from the tribe and from each other, so in order to summon them, the tribe's people use whistles and horns to produce loud noises.
Ok.
So there's your overview of Kukusaurs. Maybe they sound a little unapproachable compared to other Saurians, but don't worry, travelers. If you get into a tough situation, then Chaska, the Flower Feather clan's expert peacemaker, can help mediate the conflict.
Knitch mentioned that her method of mediation is silencing both parties. Is that true?
Well, that's only in special cases. Most of the time, Chaska barely needs to intervene. Everyone knows what she's capable of, so people usually
Chaska, je
find a
suis
way to set aside
mitigé
their
avec
differences when she shows up.
ce que j'avais déjà vu
so
sur le
she
personnage.
doesn't just handle conflicts between humans and Saurians. She keeps the peace between
Il faut que
people
je
too.
baisse le bruit.
Exactly. Chaska was corrupted by abyssal power as a child, so she has a strong compulsion to fight, but she knows how to rein it in.
Right. I heard that she was abandoned as a baby. It seems like she's been through a lot.
Yeah, but luckily for her, the Kukusaurs took her in and raised her as one of their own. In addition to hunting and flying, Chaska gained a lot of unique combat experience from her Saurian childhood. When Chaska is in your party, defeating
Alors.
monsters will restore phlogiston to your party. While she's in the Night Soul's blessing state, Chaska can ride and control her gun like a Kukusaur. The Soul Sniper doesn't just increase her movement speed and resistance to interruption, it also allows her to get a better angle on her enemies.
Wow, that mid-air perspective is so cool. It seems so liberating.
Yeah, and Chaska's fierce when she's in the zone. In the Night Soul's blessing state, Chaska's normal attacks deal animo damage to enemies in front of her. Unleashing a charged attack in this state will cause Chaska to enter a special aiming mode. This allows her to lock onto a set number of enemies within range and fire up to 6 Shadow Hunt shells, which deal animo damage upon impact. In addition, for every Pyro, Hydro, Cryo, or Electro character in your party, one of Chaska's Shadow Hunt shells will undergo an elemental conversion to deal the corresponding type of
Du
elemental
coup, ouais,
damage.
premier perso
Whoa, no
multi-élément.
way! So Chaska can directly deal other types of elemental damage based on the characters in her party.
Je me demande à quel
And
point
since
ça,
she's
ça
an
va être,
animal
ça va
character,
être
she can
sympa
swirl
à
them
jouer
at the
ça.
same time. That's awesome.
Yeah, I know, right? Her elemental burst has a similar function too. Chaska fires a gale-splitting Soulseeker shell during her burst, which deals animo damage. The attack then splits into 6 Soulseeker shells, which continue to attack nearby enemies. These shells can also undergo elemental conversions.
That's so cool. No wonder she's one of the strongest warriors in her tribe.
Speaking of her tribe, the warriors from the Flower Feather clan are formidable for sure, but we should also shed some light on those who aren't as skilled.
Oh, are you talking about the wingless? That's what the tribe calls people who fail the flight trials, right? They're the challengers who fail to earn the recognition of a Kukusaur.
Exactly.
Je fais ça,
But
c'est
the
chaque
name
fois
doesn't
quelqu'un m'envoie des
indicate that
messages,
those
où j'arrête de
people are
répondre.
weak or deserve to be cast aside. The Flower
Donc,
Feather clan
c'est
has its own
ta
definition
quête.
of strength.
Bon, forcément, les
There's
chroniques
a tacit
tribales.
understanding that the wingless are supposed to be protected until they can fly by themselves. But
Avec la
that
quête finale
assumption
avec
is
Chaska
challenged
comme
in
pour les
Tribal
autres.
Chronicles Tlalocan. Someone will dare to ask, what if you didn't need a Kukusaur to fly? If you could change the rules, then maybe there wouldn't be any wingless to begin with. Now, whether that's the right path is for us to discover. Chaska will also be there to help us find the answer. So, be sure to check out Chaska's Tribal Chronicle if you're interested in what happens.
Is there anything else that you can tell us?
Remember how I mentioned that Chaska was raised by Kukusaurs?
Yeah, tell us about it.
Her Saurian mother will make an appearance in this quest. Even though she's joined human society, Chaska still goes to visit her Saurian mother on occasion, especially when she needs some help
Ils
with
sont
a
quand même
tough
stylés, ces sauriens,
situation.
man.
Oh,
Enfin,
so Cheska still has the soft side, even though she's a fearsome warrior.
Definitely.
ah, de voir aussi
The
les
Flower
autres.
Feather Clan is also the setting
Archon
for the
Quest
Archon
5?
Quest Chapter
Bah, du coup,
5
il y a bien
in
un
Open.
Conquest.
All fires fuel the flame. The tribe is facing a crisis, and they'll need the traveler's help to find a solution.
What kind of crisis?
Well, the Flower Feather clan suffered the worst of the abyssal contamination during the battle in version 5.1. It's not just the human body that can't withstand high concentrations of abyssal power. For most people, it also damages the mind. Many members of the Flower Feather clan are suffering from the mental repercussions of the abyss, and the tribe is in desperate need of aid. Iansan will be there too. After rebuilding her own tribe, the Collective of Plenty, she's traveling around Natland to help those in need.
The people of Natland really value unity, don't they? No one fights alone.
Right.
That's one of my favorite things about Natland. Oh, wait.
Capitano.
It looks like the captain will also be there.
Yes, the captain will also offer help to the tribe. You may pick up on some interesting information if you pay close attention to what he has to say. The captain rarely gives away too much information in his regular interactions, but his secrecy here seems a little peculiar. So keep an eye out, but of course, restoring Natland's fighting spirit remains the top priority. After all, the war isn't over yet. The abyssal contamination is still around, and we have a very important battle ahead. Natland needs mental fortitude
Je
more
m'attendais
than
pas à ce
ever
qu'il y ait un
before.
chapitre de,
The
de
Flower
la quête
Feather
principale,
clan
ça.
is pretty close to the masters of the
bonne
Night
surprise.
Wind, where the Ictomosaurs live. That tribe could be another good place to recover from the battle.
Oh,
Du coup, il y aura
yeah.
6 chapitres
Let's
pour
check it
l'histoire.
out.
Du coup, logiquement, il y
If you
aura
head west
la
from the
5.3.
Stadium of the Sacred Flame and go past the towering walls, you eventually arrive at the settlement of the mysterious Masters of the Night Wind. The tribal settlement offers a
Attends, il y a
unique glowing
2
landscape
tribus
at night.
en plus là.
If you venture even further, then you might encounter the tribe's
Oh, ils
wild
sont
Ictomosaur elder
magnifiques.
or one of the many shamans who can communicate with spirits.
Oh, les bébés sont trop
I even
mignons.
heard that the witch doctors who live there can help cleanse your spirit. Plus, the graffiti art is really incredible. In fact, there's something special about this one. Can you figure it out, travelers? It's kind of tricky, right? Well, don't worry. The Ictomosaurs can help us out. Ictomosaurs are known for their wisdom. They can use their unique sight to detect things that can't be seen through
Oh non,
normal
ça va,
means.
ça va être chiant, il va falloir
Okay.
utiliser ça partout.
Right. Ictomosaurs are especially skilled at detecting ley lines and phlogiston. They can absorb power from phlogiston
Oula,
objects
oula.
to enhance their abilities. Doing so allows them to jump higher, move faster, or even obtain surprising rewards. Ictomosaurs can also extract information from graffiti art to create special objects.
Oh oui,
I bet that'll come in handy for solving
bien
puzzles.
évidemment.
Definitely.
Ah, ça va être sympa,
Especially
ça.
in Tribal Chronicles Mictland, which will become available in version 5.2, the first 2 acts feature a lot of intriguing puzzles. So be sure to check them out, travelers. Some of them will
Ok.
require the help of an Ictomosaur, and
Bon,
others
bien
can be solved
évidemment,
on
les
your
quêtes
own.
I
tribales
noticed that
1 et 2.
Ictomosaurs can perform fast-paced jumps when they have enough phlogiston, and it looks like so much fun. Do we know anyone who can use that ability? Besides the new Saurian, I mean.
Yes, Auroron can do it too.
Oh oui,
Like the
Auroron.
Ictomosaurs, Auroron has the ability to rise into the air. He also has a keen sense of perception. While charging an aimed shot, Auroron will enter the Spirit Speaker state, allowing him to extract power from Natland's graffiti and runes.
Speaking of
Ah,
Auroron,
intéressant.
I was honestly super surprised by his personality. Before the 5.1 Archon quest, I thought that he looked like a stern, stoic, and harsh type of character. But as it turns out, he's just a sweet kid.
Yeah, it's kind of unexpected, right? Is he really that sweet though? Just to think about all the sneaking around behind his granny's back.
Ah, true.
The tribespeople of the Masters of the Night Wind are known for being eccentric. But Auroron really takes it to the next level.
Yeah, it sounds like he does things his own way. I wonder if that extends to his
Montrez-nous
combat
qui, parce que
abilities.
j'avais vu déjà un
It
petit peu des
does.
trucs,
Auroron
mais...
is a bit different from the Natland characters we've met so far.
Ah bon?
He doesn't need to depend on the Night Soul's Blessing state to gain Night Soul points,
Ah oui,
and
c'est
he
vrai.
can maintain the Night Soul's Blessing state even while he's off-field.
Ah, that does sound different from the other Natland characters. So how do his abilities work?
Let me start by explaining how Auroron gains Night Soul points. This can happen in multiple ways. For example, Auroron can gain Night Soul points when one of his party members triggers a Night Soul burst. He can also gain them when other party members deal Hydro or Electro attacks to
Ouais, donc
enemies
il va être pour les teams
after Auroron
hydro et
unleashes his
électro.
elemental skill.
Oh, then it sounds like he works well with Hydro and Electro characters.
Yep. And in combat, when enemies take damage
Je
from
sais pas s'il sera
electro-charged
bon.
reactions or other party members deal Night Soul aligned damage, Auroron can consume Night Soul points
merci
to
de nous
enter
mettre
the
ça en
Night
full
Soul's
screen.
blessing state and trigger the Hypersense effect, dealing electro damage.
Oh, I see. So you need to pair him with the right characters if you want him to gain Night Soul points, enter the Night Soul's blessing state, and trigger the effect.
Exactly. Though I should mention that Auroron doesn't need to be on the field to trigger the Hypersense effect.
Wait, he can trigger it even while he's off-field? That sounds really useful.
Totally. His Elemental Burst provides a convenient way to deal damage and support your party. Auroron performs an ancient reach roll with his burst to summon a supersonic Oculus, which taunts nearby enemies to draw them in. Once they're up close, the Oculus releases a sound wave to deal damage.
En fait, il me fait penser un peu à
That should be great
Fischl,
for crowd
mais
control.
Yes, with Auroron in your party, dealing with large
je
groups
sais
of
pas si ce
enemies
sera
should be
aussi
a lot easier.
intéressant.
And speaking of making things easier, Auroron can also improve the exploration experience by boosting the gliding speed of your characters.
Awesome.
Auroron really cherishes his
Ah,
friends.
il
With
booste
a
la
little
vitesse
teamwork on his
du
side,
deltaplane.
I'm sure victory
Pas
will
la-
always
il
be
réduit pas
within reach.
la stamina. Ok, ça peut être intéressant.
Cool. So we introduced two of the upcoming regions in this
Donc
update.
deux nouvelles régions,
The
pas une.
Flower
Oh là
Feather
là, ça
Clan
va être...
and the
Ah, mais il va y avoir du
Masters of the
contenu
Night
dans
Wind.
dans cette
But
mise à
there's
jour.
more. Version 5.2 actually introduces another new region.
Comment ça?
It's called Ochkanatlan.
Oh, I think we caught a glimpse of this ancient city when we were looking at the Flower Feather Clan. It's really
Trois nouvelles
beautiful
régions?
from far away, but those clouds look kind of ominous. It looks completely abandoned. Is it dangerous?
Yes, this is a restricted area in that land due to its severe abyssal contamination, and it seems uninhabited. Over the years, many adventurers have come here in search of treasure or to slay the dragon.
Un nouveau...
Unfortunately,
un nouveau
none of
pet.
them have ever returned. The Flower Feather Clan often sends riders to patrol the area and to prevent people from getting too close.
Wait, did you say slay the dragon?
Yeah, I know we introduced some adorable Saurians earlier, but this creature is actually really terrifying. It occupies this ancient city and guards it fiercely. If it detects an intruder, then it will attack without hesitation.
Okay,
moins,
that's
tu les mobs
pretty
prononces bien.
concerning.
It's easy to take human-Saurian coexistence for granted these days, but it actually took generations of effort to reach this point. This relationship wasn't nearly so harmonious in the ancient past. Travelers will need to explore Ochkanatlan to uncover the reason behind this dragon's rampage. Of course, travelers won't have to do this alone. Here, take a look.
Oh, what's
Il est
that?
trop
This
mignon.
is a very important companion who will help us explore
Un nouveau
Ochkanatlan.
compagnon trop mignon.
His name
Oula,
is
compagnon.
Kokoweek. As for his power, well, why don't you take a guess?
Okay, is he our moral support? You know, maybe he could make a cute noise every now and then
Moral
to cheer us up.
support.
Hey, let's not put our Tapetlosaur friend out of a job. Little one works really hard.
Okay, then I've got nothing.
Remember how I mentioned that Ochkanatlan is heavily corroded by the abyss? Well, that's where Kokoweek comes in.
Pour nettoyer l'abysse.
We can use his power
Peut-être?
to clear abyssal
Ouais.
contamination. Follow the direction indicated by his light to collect secret source scraps and enhance his power. Once Kokoweek has enough power, you can take him to track down the
Fait beaucoup
evil
penser
dragon.
à la zone du
What a
vortex
useful little
I know, right?
dans le désert.
Now, travelers can explore
Au
Ochkanatlan
niveau
with
des
two
mécaniques.
companions, Kokoweek and Little One. In fact, I've heard there's even a special token around here that can enable Little One to traverse a volcano. A new adventure with Little One awaits in version 5.2. This update will bring us one step closer to uncovering the mysteries of Little One's past. Familiar Saurian companions can also help us explore Ochkanatlan. For example, with the help of a Kaholasaur,
What?
we can evade source mechanism attacks. With the help of an Ikitomisaur, we can solve certain puzzles. With the help of a Kukusaur, we might even be able to chase down the evil dragon. But we'll leave the rest for you to discover, travelers.
Wait, are those some kind of lava fish? Does this mean we can fish in that
Oh
land?
non, il y a de la pêche dans
but
la lave.
I've got some
What?
friendly advice, travelers. You should be very careful while exploring Ochkanatlan.
Ah, nouveau
Some of the
boss.
abyssal monsters here can distort their appearance to mimic powerful enemies. High-level monsters such as the tenebrous Papilla can mimic even stronger enemies.
Huh? It looks like these monsters take the form of plants outside of combat.
Yep, that's true. The Abyss has corroded Natlan's ley lines, allowing these monsters to read the memories inside of them and mimic creatures from
Il est stylé
Teyvat.
ce
How
boss.
do we defeat them?
Travelers will need to use elemental attacks to break the enemy's protective void wards. Doing so allows them to take damage
Faudrait que je
and
regarde si
causes
j'ai
them
bien
to
retrouvé
enter a
sur le-
brief
sur
state
le
of
jeu aussi.
confusion. Night Soul-aligned elemental attacks are especially effective against these wards.
Wow, the Abyss has gotten so advanced. It's
Tenebrous
scary to think about
Papilla.
how much harder these fights will get if these abyssal monsters continue to evolve.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a lot of information to take in at once. But before we take our first break, we still have a couple of short announcements. Really short, I promise.
Déjà?
First up, limited time exploration rewards will be available
Ouais.
in version 5.2. Just like in version 5.1, travelers can earn up to 400 extra primo
Oui,
gems.
normalement on aura toujours
The
celle
rewards will be
du
available
précédent aussi.
all the way through version 5.3. It's now time to introduce the event wishes. In the first half of version 5.2,
Ok,
travelers
Shaska est
can look
liné avec
forward to
Auroron
event
directement
wishes
dessus,
from
pardon?
Chaska and Lenny. Auroron will also receive a drop rate boost. And in the second half of version 1.2,
Zongli
we'll have
Neuvillette en
returning
phase
event
2, donc
wishes
c'était
for
vrai.
Dooney and Neuvillette.
Les
The
deux
weapon banner
daddies.
will feature a new 5-star bow, Astro Vulture's Crimson Plumage, and 2 new Natland specific 4-star weapons.
Oh,
Be sure to
joli
check
là.
them out if you're interested.
All right, it's time for our first break. Once we come back, we'll dive right into the event portion.
Tête TLM XSD 24 3JR. Hop, sur le Discord. Hop là. Sérieusement, moi je pensais que ça allait être un patch filler où il n'y allait pas avoir grand chose. Et ben, c'est pas un patch filler et il y a beaucoup de choses. Donc je suis content. Et encore, on n'a même pas encore eu des événements. Il lui sort rien barre de chargement là. Oula, ils sont combien?
Welcome back, travelers.
Oh là là,
Welcome
mon
back.
tempo.
Let's dive straight into the event section.
Oh, elle est belle.
So in the first event, we'll get to learn more about the Masters of the Nightwind.
That's right. In the version 5.2 event, Ikitomi Spirit-Seeking Scrolls, travelers will team up with Citlali and Auroron to get to the bottom of a
Et des rewards,
mysterious
je sais pas ce que c'est,
accident
ça
that
c'est quoi
occurred
ça?
within their tribe.
Travelers will need to complete combat challenges to defeat enemies who try to disrupt the ritual. They'll also need to reconstruct scenes from the tribe's woven scrolls, and gather lost spirits scattered throughout the region. Travelers will only be able to uncover the truth if they collect all the clues. But don't worry, there are also various rewards to earn along the way,
Attends, elle fait quoi,
including
l'épée?
primo gems.
Ooh, I really like the vibe of this event. It looks like Citlali is performing some
Ah.
kind of ritual. It's also mysterious.
When a situation
Yes,
gets tough, it's Granny to the rescue.
Definitely.
Citlali and Auroron have some really fun dialogue in this event.
I'm always grabbing the popcorn whenever these two interact.
Bref.
They're practically a two-person show. And speaking of fun, let's get into the event gameplay. First up is the Search for Lost Spirits minigame. Travelers will have to work together to herd the
Encore?
scattered roaming spirits into specific zones to earn points. Pay attention to the conditions on the field if you want a higher score. For example, travelers can jump on stone slabs that appear on the field.
C'est coop ou
These slabs will break open
c'est...
and release even more
PvP?
spirits. Storms may also appear during the game. You can track down spirits more effectively if you pay attention to the
J'ai
direction of the
l'impression que c'est
storms.
coop.
In Evil Banisher, travelers will need to select the right teams to complete the objectives. Completing all of the objectives will award you the Banishing Aura, which allows you to deal AoE damage by spraying paint at enemies.
Ah oui,
Paint
désolé
really
pour pas de
matches
live,
the
il y a eu
Masters of the Nightwind's
PGW,
aesthetic.
puis Into,
It's super cool.
Yeah,
pas
and
mal
so
de
does
gens
the
pas
Spirit Loan
présents,
in
donc
restoring
c'était
fragmented
compliqué.
records.
Mais normalement, il y aura
Silali
bien un
will
live
use
ce
her powers
soir.
to reveal special fragments. Travelers will need to piece
Et
these
très certainement demain
fragments
aussi.
together and
On
assemble
reprend.
them on a woven scroll.
Make sure that you pay attention to the order and positions of the fragments. Oh,
Oh, ça
there's
va être
something
chiant,
else
ça.
that we should mention. Travelers can obtain a new 4-star sword by completing this event. The design definitely fits the Masters of the Nightwind. It looks like some kind of ceremonial artifact.
I totally
Elle
agree.
est belle, hein, mais
Oh,
je crois
and
qu'elle est
this
pas,
event
elle est
will
pas
allow
folle.
travelers to learn more about Natlan's secrets. For example, this quest will reveal new clues about a mysterious and legendary place, the Mare Javari.
Wow, we've been hearing about this place since Mondstadt. It'll be nice to get some new information. On a related note, the Adventurers Guild has prepared a new trial for its members.
L'aventure
Active
trial
adventurers have been
métamorphosis.
invited to
Comment
take on the
ça,
challenge, including the
métamorphose?
Traveler. Travelers will need to complete various challenges with designated characters
Des
and fully
donjons.
leverage their skills to earn
Ah
rewards.
oui,
I know you're up to the challenge,
les
Travelers.
donjons
Good luck.
où il faut
In
faire avec certains
Mondstadt related
personnages.
news,
Ah oui,
the
c'était
Knights
cool
of
ça comme event.
Favonius are conducting a war game to improve security tactics.
Oh, ça
in
s'appelle
the region.
un
And
event
who
de
better
combat
to
ça.
test these tactics than the honorary knight? Be sure to pay close attention to the game, since the format has changed this time.
Comment ça?
Travelers will need to select combat units and stratagems to deploy against the opposing formation. Once the lineup is set,
Ah
the
oui,
monsters
le
will
jeu
fight
Pokémon.
automatically. Available combat units and stratagems are completely random. You know, just to build some unpredictability into the wargame. The chances of encountering elite combat units increases as the wargame
Et
progresses.
ben pour
Even
l'instant,
more elite
j'aime bien les
monsters will
events
be
de
available
ce
for
patch.
travelers to use. It's a volatile environment,
Enfin,
so do your best to
Pas
win
vraiment
as many
Pokémon, mais
rounds as
vraiment plus
possible,
les
earn
gachas
wargame
où tu
medals,
fais des
and
équipes contre
collect
des
the
équipes.
rewards.
Oh, ça peut être cool ça.
All right, let's keep the excitement rolling in this next event. We actually have a demo, so please take a look.
Ok, pas de soucis, Riku.
looks like they're selecting tactics. Double
tout à l'heure.
damage? That sounds powerful.
Ah non, c'est un jeu de cartes. En vrai, il faudrait que je
it's
réessaye le jeu de
automated.
cartes.
Cool. The elemental reaction effects are completely different.
Pourquoi toi?
This
Attendez,
brand new heated battle mode is called Automatic Artistry. Powerful support cards have been added for nearly every elemental reaction. Choose cards that align with your strategies to trigger powerful elemental reactions. The effects will change depending on how you play. In addition, the overall gameplay is very laid back. Characters will automatically duel each other and skill animations are
Ils ont
now
30 points
shorter
de
in
vie.
length.
Oh, ça fait tellement
Wow,
longtemps que j'ai
it's
plus
like we
joué.
got a whole new Genius Invocation TCG after coming back from Natland. Talk about whiplash.
That's
En vrai, faudrait
right.
que j'y rejoue
Even
un
if
peu.
you've never played Genius Invocation before, I really recommend checking out this new gameplay mode in version 5.2.
Automatic
The
artistry,
new version
ok.
will also bring a few updates to regular Genius Invocation TCG.
Do you ever feel a little cooped up while you're playing card games? Well, don't worry about that. Our next event will give travelers the opportunity to enjoy the great outdoors. In Claw Convoy, travelers will need to help Lamia track down some adopted animals. Travelers will be
Il y a
able
combien
to see
d'événements dans
the
ce patch,
animal's
là,
point
encore
of view by using a special tool. Once you've managed to deduce their location, you'll be able to track them down. Once the animals are safe and sound, travelers will receive a gift from the mysterious figure who adopted them. I feel like Auroron would really shine in this event. He's definitely an
Il y a
animal
Utao,
lover.
là.
I can see that. I'm sure that he would jump at the chance to meet animals from other nations.
Yeah.
Finally, the Leyline Overflow event will return in
Ouais,
version
les line overflow.
5.2.
Enfin, que
If
je ne
you
fais
need
même plus
more
parce que j'ai
or
trop de.
character EXP materials, then
Trop
keep an eye
d'XP,
out.
trop
Alright,
de
let's
Mora,
dive into some
trop de tout
updates
en
and
fait.
game optimizations. First up is the change to the Imaginarium Theater.
Ah, une update pour le
Previously,
Imaginarium.
travelers would be returned to the theater lobby after completing a challenge and have to reopen the Fantasia tone
oui.
to continue.
On continue
Travelers
directement.
provided feedback that this setup interrupted their experience. So, this will no longer be
Plus de
the case
retour.
in version 5.2.
Oui, plus de
Now,
retour au
after
lobby.
finishing a battle, all you need to do is click Next Act if you want to keep fighting.
Nice. Travelers can now enjoy the thrill of combat without any interruptions.
Ça c'est
And
bien.
for all the generous travelers who like to configure supports for their friends, a supporting caster record has been added in the new update. You can now check which friends have borrowed your supports by looking at the supporting cast screen.
Cool. It'll be nice to know that our supports are helping people out.
Yup. Oh, and the party configuration mechanic has also been optimized. Besides the elemental filtering, the Imaginarium Theater will now feature recommended role icons, elemental statistics,
c'est bien,
and
ça.
markers for the main types of
Ça
animals.
simplifie un petit peu
That
pour les
is
personnes qui n'ont
so
pas forcément
helpful.
36 persos.
I'll occasionally put together
ou
a
contente
random
qu'il y ait beaucoup de
team
persos
if
pour
I've
savoir quoi
just
mettre.
started experimenting with some characters, but this information should make it a lot easier to form strategic teams.
These markers will display key information on how to counter enemies, but in a much more prominent position. Hopefully, this change will make it easier for travelers to form the best teams.
Yes. Now we can directly see which elements work best against
Et
specific
niveau
enemies.
cosmétique, du coup, ce sera pour
That's
qui?
definitely going to save some time.
For sure. And we can expect even more optimizations in the future as travelers continue to
J'aime bien, c'est
provide
qu'ils
valuable
mettent beaucoup
feedback
d'amour dans
about
ce mode de
their
jeu, alors que les
experiences.
abysses, bah, à part les changer de temps en
Let's
temps.
introduce the other system optimizations coming in version 5.2. You can now sort 5-star artifacts in your inventory based on when you obtained them, from the most recent
Ah,
to
ça
the
c'est bien,
oldest.
ça c'est bien.
Second, the animations for
Les trier
crafting
par ordre
materials,
de-
forging weapons, building furniture, and cooking dishes are now shorter in length.
That's really
c'est
nice.
bien aussi que ce
The
soit plus
dev team
court.
designed a lot of intricate animations for these features, but it can feel a bit frustrating when you have to watch them over and over again.
There will also be several optimizations for the Serena teapot. The seed dispensary can now hold more of every type of seed. You'll be able to purchase wood at the Realm Depot in exchange for Realm currency. In addition,
c'est
the
bien.
cooldown for the boon of the Elder Tree will be reduced to 5 seconds. This way, it will be easier for travelers to collect wood.
Awesome. I've been meaning to use some cool replicas in my Serena teapot,
je
but
connaissais même
I'm
pas ça.
always short on wood.
Pour
So
couper du
this
bois
should be really
rapidement.
helpful.
Nice! I'm so excited for you! Oh,
Bon, en
and
vrai, est-ce que c'est vraiment si
optimizations have
utile,
been
il
made to
suffit de taper sur
artifact
les arbres,
locking.
quoi.
The updated lock assistance interface will allow you to configure lock settings with a single click. Just hit Use
j'aime pas.
Recommended Settings and you're set. The recommended set lock plans will even
Donc, je
update
continuerai manuellement à le
automatically based
faire.
on popular in-game configurations. Of course, if you have your own ideas in mind, then you can always disable the
Mettez-nous des
recommended
sets
plans to
d'artefacts qu'on peut mettre
configure
direct, enfin
custom
des,
ones
des,
instead.
des
The
presets
update also allows you
d'artefacts qu'on peut
to
mettre sur nos
batch
persos,
lock
quoi. Punaise,
artifacts in your
c'est compliqué,
inventory based on
quoi.
the recommended general
Le jeu, il a
lock
plus de
plan
4 ans, là.
and set lock plans. This will make it much faster to organize your inventory. In addition, a shortcut button that navigates to the lock assistance interface will be added to the artifact domain challenge screen and the
Eh bien,
artifact
on prend ça
acquisition
pour
screen.
ça va
This
servir à
should
des gens,
make it
mais bon.
easier for travelers to configure their locking rules whenever they want. A star feature will also be added next to the
Par
lock
contre, s'ils nous
button
présentent
on
tout ça,
each
là,
artifact.
il y a encore un
Travelers
code à
can use
donner.
this feature to mark their
Qu'est-ce
favorite
qu'ils vont nous
artifacts
dire
and
après?
filter by
Juste,
stars
ok,
to
c'est bon,
quickly
c'est fini,
track
bye
them
bye.
down.
Finally, treasure compasses will now be able to locate even more treasure locations, including Sealies and time
Ça
trial
c'est bien,
challenges.
ça c'est bien de
A
pouvoir
quick swap
voir
feature will
aussi
also be added for
les
treasure
défis, les
compasses
petites
and
fées là.
Oculus
Avec le...
resonance stones.
Oh, mais attends,
Enabling
dire que
this
je pourrais
feature will allow
finir
travelers
beaucoup plus
to more
facilement
easily
la
use
région
these
natale. Tu me diras
devices
que je
across
suis à 80%
regions. The
plus.
feature will automatically switch to the compass or stone that corresponds to your location in the game.
Awesome.
Be sure to check out future announcements for more details on the version 5.2 optimizations.
All right, that was a lot of info, so this seems like a good time for our second break.
It's time for the third redemption code.
Alors, en vrai, je les mets sur mon Discord, mais j'utilise même plus les codes, moi, vu que l'appli permet de directement les rentrer tout seul. Hop. Discord. Alors, qu'est-ce qu'il me dit encore? Oh là, pavé César, on va attendre. Hein. Il y a moyen que je fasse des invoques sur Chaska quand même. Ah, je sais pas. Bon, j'ai beaucoup de primogèmes, mais bon, il y a ma Wicca après, quoi. Je sais pas quelle arme je lui mettrais à Chaska. Je pense que au niveau de l'arme, je ferai des invocations sur l'arme que pour ma Wicca, pas pour Chaska. Hein. Même si l'arc est très beau.
Welcome back, travelers. What else do we have on the agenda, Gabe?
We have some very exciting news to share. After the version update on November 20th, travelers will be able to play Genshin Impact on the Xbox Series X and
Ok,
S.
bon, la sortie
Log into
de
Genshin Impact
Genshin
on
sur
Xbox
Xbox.
Series X and S consoles to receive the Wind Glider Wings of Fate's Course Intertwined. Additionally, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members can play Genshin Impact via cloud gaming. They'll also find extra rewards
Et
in their
présent dans
in-game
Cloud
mailbox.
Gaming via le Xbox Pass.
Awesome.
Ah ok, bah il va y avoir du monde là,
All
dedans.
right, that should be everything.
Ok,
That
ils
means
avaient
that
que ça à
we've
dire.
reached the end of the special program. Is there anything that you want to say before we go, Kai?
Yes, I'm really looking forward to all the new characters. Chaska and her weapons seem really incredible. I'd love to see how her travel chronicle unfolds because she has such an amazing personality. And Auroran seems like a very layered character. The storytelling is definitely going to shine. What about you, Gabe?
Yeah, I'm just so excited for players to experience more of the Natlan storyline, and we have so much to explore this time. I mean, 2 new tribes and a new area as well. And one thing I've always loved about Genshin Impact is how it's multi-platform. Like, I'm always logging in on different devices depending on where I am, so it's just exciting to see another platform become available for everyone.
Yeah.
And yeah, on that note, I hope you have fun with the new version, travelers.
Après, on peut pas non plus demander trop encore en plus vu tout ce qu'ils ont annoncé.